I found lipstick on my husband's shirt collar, the exact same shade he'd given me for Christmas, then discovered the receipt showing he'd bought 2 tubes that day, same time, same transaction. My name is Amanda, I'm 34 years old, and I work as an elementary school teacher in suburban Minneapolis. My husband, ex-husband, Eric was 36, a sales director for a pharmaceutical company. We'd been married for 8 years, together for 11. High school sweethearts who'd beaten the odds, or so everyone thought. We had a beautiful 4-bedroom house in Edina, 2 cars, a golden retriever named Barkley, and season tickets to the Timberwolves. We were the couple other couples looked up to, the ones who still held hands at restaurants and finished each other's sentences. Eric and I met junior year of high school. He was the charming guy everyone liked, captain of the debate team, class president, the kind of person teachers trusted and students wanted to be friends with. I was quieter, the girl who spent lunch periods in the library, editor of the school newspaper. He'd asked me to help him write a speech for student council, and we'd ended up talking for 3 hours about everything except the speech. We'd been inseparable ever since. Our relationship had weathered everything: college at different universities, his parents' messy divorce, my dad's cancer scare, financial struggles in our 20s. We'd built a life together brick by brick. Bought our first house at 28. Gotten married in a small ceremony at his family's lake cabin. Talked about having kids when the timing was right. The timing never felt right, but I'd thought we had time. We were happy, stable, secure. But looking back now, the cracks had been forming for at least a year. Eric's job had always required travel. Pharmaceutical sales meant visiting doctors' offices, hospitals, medical conferences. 2 or 3 trips per month, usually just overnight. I'd gotten used to solo dinners and sleeping alone. He'd always been good about calling when he landed, texting throughout the day, bringing me back little gifts from wherever he'd been. But about 18 months ago, the trips got more frequent. 4 or 5 per month. Sometimes week-long conferences. He'd apologize, say the company was expanding, that he had to network more to hit his numbers. The money was good, really good, so I didn't complain. We were saving for a bigger house, maybe starting a family. The sacrifice seemed worth it. His phone habits changed around the same time. He'd always been casual about it, leaving it on the counter, letting me use it if mine was dead. But gradually, it became something he carried everywhere. Bathroom. Garage. Even into the backyard when he took Barkley out. When I'd mention it, he'd laugh. Force of habit. Can't miss a client call. He started working out obsessively. Joined a fancy gym near his office with a sauna and juice bar. He'd go before work, sometimes during lunch, occasionally after dinner. His body changed, more defined, leaner. New clothes appeared in his closet, expensive brands, tailored fits. Gotta look good for clients, he'd say. Image matters in pharma sales. The sex became less frequent, but somehow more performative. Like he was trying to prove something. Afterward, he'd shower immediately, even if it was the middle of the night. I feel gross, he'd say. Need to rinse off. It seemed considerate at the time. Now I wonder who he was washing off. He'd started commenting on my appearance more. Not compliments exactly, but observations. That dress is getting tight. When's the last time you went to the gym? Maybe try styling your hair differently? I'd started feeling self-conscious, wondering if I'd let myself go. If I wasn't attractive enough anymore. If marriage had made me complacent. My best friend Jenna had noticed changes too. Eric seems different lately, she'd said at brunch. More distant? Like he's here but not really here. He's stressed about work, I defended automatically. Sales quotas are brutal. Maybe, Jenna had said, but her tone suggested she wasn't convinced. Just pay attention, okay? Make sure everything's okay with you guys. I dismissed her concern. We were fine. Great even. We still had date nights when Eric wasn't traveling. We still laughed together. We were still us. Christmas had been magical. We'd hosted his family at our house, his mom, his sister, and her husband, their 2 kids. I'd spent days decorating, cooking, making everything perfect. Eric had been attentive, helpful, present. He'd seemed genuinely happy. On Christmas morning, He'd given me a beautiful gift, a Tom Ford lipstick in a gorgeous berry shade called Black Dahlia. It came in a sleek black and gold case that felt expensive and luxurious. I noticed you looking at it when we walked through Nordstrom last month, he'd said. Wanted you to have something that makes you feel beautiful. I'd been touched. He'd been paying attention. He'd remembered a random moment from weeks ago. I'd kissed him, thanked him, worn the lipstick to Christmas dinner that night. His mom had complimented it. Eric has good taste, she'd said. He really does, I'd agreed, feeling grateful for my thoughtful husband. But that lipstick, that perfect, thoughtful gift, would become the thing that destroyed everything. The discovery happened on a Tuesday in late January. Eric had been on a 3-day trip to Chicago, medical conference, he'd said. He'd come home Monday night, exhausted, barely coherent. Kissed my cheek, said he was jet-lagged, went straight to bed. Tuesday morning, I was doing laundry, sorting through the hamper, separating lights from darks, checking pockets, like I always did. I pulled out Eric's white dress shirt, the one he'd worn to the conference, and that's when I saw it. A smudge on the collar. Lipstick. Deep berry red. My heart stopped. I held the shirt up to the light. It was definitely lipstick. Not faded or old. Fresh. Recent. My mind immediately went to reasonable explanations. Maybe a colleague had hugged him goodbye. Maybe someone at the conference had been overly friendly. It was probably nothing. Innocent. But then I looked closer. The shade. That specific berry red. It looked exactly like my Tom Ford lipstick. I walked to my bathroom, pulled out the lipstick he'd given me for Christmas. Held it next to the stain on his collar. Perfect match. My hands started shaking. This couldn't be a coincidence. Tom Ford made hundreds of lipstick shades. What were the odds that some random woman at a conference happened to be wearing the exact same unique berry shade my husband had just given me? Unless it wasn't a random woman. Unless it was someone he'd also given this lipstick to. I sat on the bathroom floor, shirt in one hand, lipstick in the other, trying to breathe. There had to be another explanation. Maybe the stain wasn't fresh. Maybe it was from me, from some time I'd worn it and hugged him. But I'd only worn it twice, Christmas dinner and New Year's Eve. Both times, I'd been careful. And this stain looked recent. My phone buzzed. Eric texting from work. Forgot my laptop charger at home. Can you drop it off at my office today? I stared at the message. Then I looked at his home office down the hall. If I was going to look, now was the time. I felt guilty even thinking it. This was my husband. I trusted him. Going through his things felt like a violation. But that lipstick stain felt like a violation too. I walked into his office. Looked at his desk. Neat, organized, very Eric. His laptop was there, plugged into the charger he claimed to have forgotten. Strange. I unplugged the charger, but didn't leave immediately. His filing cabinet was in the corner. He kept work documents there, receipts for expenses, travel itineraries. I'd never had a reason to look through it before. I opened the top drawer. Manila folders labeled with years and categories. I found the one marked 2023, receipts, and pulled it out. Flipped through restaurant receipts, hotel bookings, Uber charges. Nothing unusual. Then I saw it. A receipt from Nordstrom. Dated December 10th, 2 weeks before Christmas. The date he'd bought my lipstick. Tom Ford lipstick, Black Dahlia, $58 Tom Ford lipstick, Black Dahlia, $58 subtotal, $116. 2 lipsticks. Same shade. Same transaction. Same time. The room tilted. I sat down in his desk chair, staring at the receipt. He bought 2. 2 identical lipsticks. One for me. One for someone else. Who gets their wife and their mistress the same Christmas present. I took a photo of the receipt. Then I kept looking. Found more receipts. Dinners at expensive restaurants in cities where he'd claimed to be at conferences. 2 entrees. Wine. Dessert. Hotel room service charges that seemed excessive for one person. Uber receipts showing rides to residential addresses, not business locations. I found a credit card statement I didn't recognize, a card in his name I didn't know about. Charges going back months. Hotels. Restaurants. Jewelry stores. A florist. Victoria's Secret. He'd been hiding an entire financial life from me.
My phone rang.
Eric calling. I answered, my voice surprisingly steady. Hey, did you find the charger?
Yeah.
I'll bring it by. Thanks, babe. Love you. Love you too, I said automatically and hung up. Did I love him? Right now, I didn't know what I felt. I took photos of everything. Every receipt, every statement, every piece of evidence. Sent them to myself via email. Then I put everything back exactly as I'd found it. I called Jenna instead of going to Eric's office. Can you meet me?
Now?
It's an emergency. She met me at a coffee shop 20 minutes later. I showed her everything, the lipstick stain, the receipt, the credit card statements. Oh my God, she breathed. Amanda, he's having an affair. I know, I said. My voice sounded far away. I need to know who. And for how long. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. But I need more information before I confront him. Jenna pulled out her laptop. Let's start with a credit card. What hotel charges do you see? We spent 2 hours going through everything. Found a pattern. Every time Eric had a conference or business trip, there were hotel charges, but not at the conference hotels. These were boutique hotels, romantic places. The kind of places you take someone special, not where you crash between client meetings. One address kept appearing. A hotel in downtown Minneapolis. The Hotel Ivy. Luxury. Expensive. And local, 20 minutes from our house. He's been taking her to hotels here, I said slowly. In our own city, while telling me he's traveling. What a fucking asshole, Jenna said. I called the Hotel Ivy. Hi, my husband and I stayed at your hotel recently, and I think I left my earrings in the room. Is there any way to check lost and found? Of course. What name was the reservation under? Eric Morrison. I'm not sure of the exact date, but it would have been within the last month. I heard typing. Okay, I see several reservations under that name. December 15th, January 8th, January 20th. That's perfect. I cut her off. January 20th. That was last weekend, when Eric had told me he was at a medical conference in Milwaukee. I'm not seeing anything in Lost and Found for that room, but I can connect you with housekeeping. No, that's okay. Thank you. I hung up. Several reservations. He'd been taking her to the same hotel regularly. While I was at home, grading papers, walking our dog, living my normal life. I need to see his phone, I said to Jenna.
How?
He guards that thing like the nuclear codes. Tonight. I'll wait until he's asleep. That night, I made Eric's favorite dinner. Acted normal. Smiled. Laughed at his stories about work. Pretended I didn't know he was lying about every detail. We watched TV. I suggested opening a bottle of wine. He had 2 glasses. I had one, sipping slowly. Around 11 p.m., he yawned. I'm beat. A conference really took it out of me. Go to bed, I said. I'm going to finish this episode. He kissed the top of my head and went upstairs. I waited 30 minutes, then followed quietly. Eric was asleep, snoring slightly. His phone was on his nightstand, plugged in. I knew his passcode, his mom's birthday, same as it had been for years. Assumed he'd never changed it. I was right. The phone unlocked. My hands were shaking as I opened his messages. Nothing suspicious in his main texts, just work stuff, messages with his family, sports chat with his buddies. But then I saw it. A contact labeled Greg Jim. But when I opened the thread, the messages definitely weren't about working out. Can't wait to see you Friday. I miss you. Last night was incredible. You're incredible. I love you. I wish we didn't have to hide this. I scrolled up. Months of messages. Photos of a woman I'd never seen. Attractive, blonde, probably early 30s. Intimate photos. Photos in hotel rooms. Photos in bed. Photos of her, wearing my lipstick. I felt bile rise in my throat. Her name, her real name, which appeared in some of the photos, was Lauren. She worked at a hospital he regularly visited for sales calls. They'd met 2 years ago. 2 years. He'd been cheating on me for 2 years. I kept scrolling, documenting everything. Found messages about their song, their restaurant, their special place. They had a whole relationship. Inside jokes. Pet names. Plans for a future together. Found messages where Eric complained about me. She's so boring lately. All she talks about is her students and the dog. I feel like I'm just existing at home, but living when I'm with you. I'm going to tell her soon. I promise. After the holidays. After the holidays. That was now. He'd been planning to leave me. But the worst part, the absolutely devastating part, was finding their Christmas photos. Eric had spent Christmas morning with me and his family. But December 26th, according to the photos, he'd spent with Lauren. At a cabin. Her wearing a red sweater, sitting by a fireplace holding a gift. She'd opened it and taken a photo. The Tom Ford lipstick. Black Dahlia. The same one I'd opened the day before. The caption on the photo, "He always knows exactly what I want." I had to grip the sink in our bathroom to keep from throwing up. When I came back to the bedroom, Eric was still sleeping peacefully. Dreaming, probably, about the double life he'd so carefully constructed. The wife at home, who believed every lie. The girlfriend who thought she was the priority. I took his phone back downstairs. Sent every message, every photo, every piece of evidence to my own email. Took photos of his call logs, hours-long calls to Greg, Jim, while he'd told me he was in meetings. Then I put the phone back on his nightstand. He never stirred. I didn't sleep that night. Sat in the living room with Barkley, staring at nothing, processing everything. By morning, I had a plan. Eric woke up around 7 a.m. Came downstairs, kissed my cheek like everything was normal. "Morning, babe. You're up early." "Couldn't sleep," I said truthfully. "Everything okay?" "Actually, no. We need to talk." He looked confused. "About what?" I pulled out my phone. Showed him the photo of the lipstick-stained shirt.
"About this."
His face went pale. I don't know where that came from. Someone must have hugged me at the conference. "It's Tom Ford Black Dahlia," I said calmly. "The exact lipstick you gave me for Christmas." "Coincidence," he said quickly. "Lots of people wear that shade." I showed him the receipt. "You bought two. Same day. Same time. Same transaction." He went completely white. "Who's Lauren?" I asked. I don't know anyone named Lauren." I showed him a screenshot from his phone. "Greg, Jim? Really? That was your cover?" He sank onto the couch. "Amanda. 2 years, Eric. You've been cheating on me for 2 years. With a woman you met through work. You've been taking her to hotels here in Minneapolis while telling me you're traveling. You bought her the same Christmas present you bought me. You spent December 26th with her at a cabin. Did you go through my phone?"
"Yes."
"While you were sleeping off the exhaustion from your conference that was actually a weekend with your girlfriend." "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is." My voice was steel. "Explain to me how you've been maintaining 2 relationships for 2 years. Explain the secret credit card, the hidden hotel bookings, the hundreds of messages telling her you love her while coming home to me every night." "I do love you," he said desperately. "But I also love her. I'm confused. I don't know what to do." "You love us both." I laughed bitterly. "You don't get to love 2 people while lying to both of them. That's not love. That's selfishness." "Amanda, please. Does she know about me?" I asked. "Does Lauren know you have a wife?" His silence answered the question.
"She doesn't know," I said.
"You told her what? That you're single? Divorced? Separated?" he whispered. "I told her we were separated, but still living together for financial reasons." "We're not separated. We just hosted your entire family for Christmas. We just talked about starting to try for a baby." I know. It's complicated." "It's not complicated." I cut him off. "You're a liar. A systematic, calculated liar who's been playing both of us for 2 years." "What are you going to do?" he asked quietly. "I'm going to call Lauren and tell her the truth. Then I'm calling a divorce lawyer. Then you're going to pack a bag and leave." "This is my house too. Check the deed," I said coldly. "We bought this house before we got married. It's in my name only. You have no legal claim to it. So pack your shit and get out. Can we please just talk about this? Talk about what? About how you bought your wife and your mistress the same lipstick. About how you've been funding your affair with a secret credit card. About how you've been planning to leave me after the holidays? I stood up. There's nothing to talk about. We're done. I pulled out my phone and called Lauren. She answered on the third ring. Hello.
Hi, Lauren.
This is Amanda Morrison, Eric's wife. Silence. Wife, she finally said. Eric doesn't have a wife. He's separated. We're not separated. We're very much married. Living together. Slept in the same bed last night. I put the call on speaker, so Eric could hear. Eric, would you like to tell Lauren the truth, or should I? Eric looked like he was going to be sick.
Eric.
Lauren's voice was shaking. What is she talking about? Lauren, I can explain. Are you married? She demanded. Yes, he admitted. But it's not. We're not happy. I was going to tell you. You've been lying to me for 2 years? Her voice broke. You're married? You live with your wife. You spent Christmas with your wife. And his family, I added. I have photos if you'd like to see them. Oh, and that lipstick he gave you? He bought it the same day he bought mine. Same transaction. Romantic, right? You son of a bitch, Lauren said. I thought, God, I'm so stupid.
You're not stupid, I said.
You're a victim, just like me. He lied to both of us.
For 2 years, she said.
2 years of my life. I know, I said quietly. Trust me, I know. I have to go, Lauren said. I need to. I can't. The line went dead. Eric was crying now. Amanda, please, I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is double booking dinner plans. This. I gestured at everything. This is a choice. Hundreds of choices over 2 years. Every lie. Every hotel booking. Every time you looked me in the eye and told me you loved me while texting her the same thing. I do love you. No, you don't. And honestly, I don't think I love you anymore either. I love who I thought you were, but that person doesn't exist. I called my principal, told her I needed a personal day. Then I called Jenna, asked her to come over. Then I called a lawyer, the best divorce attorney in Minneapolis according to Google reviews. Eric packed a bag. I watched him gather his clothes, his toiletries, his work laptop. He kept trying to talk to me, to explain, to apologize. I didn't respond. Just stood there in silence until he finished. Where are you going to go? I finally asked. Hotel, I guess. Until I figure things out. Not the Hotel Ivy, I said. That's where you took her. Pick somewhere new.
He winced.
Opened his mouth to say something, then closed it.
What was there to say?
At the door, he turned back one last time. I really do love you, Amanda. I know you don't believe me, but I do. If this is what your love looks like, I said quietly, I don't want it.
He left.
I closed the door behind him, locked it, and slid down to the floor. Barkley came over, licked my face, concerned. I hugged him and cried into his fur for what felt like hours. Jenna arrived, let herself in with her key, found me on the floor. She didn't say anything, just sat next to me and held my hand while I cried. The next few days were a blur of lawyers, paperwork, and revelation. Lauren reached out via Facebook. We met for coffee. 2 women who'd been unknowingly sharing a boyfriend/husband. I feel so violated, she said. 2 years. I thought we were building toward a future together. He told me he was planning to leave after the holidays, I said. Did he tell you that too?
Yes.
Said he just needed to prepare me, make sure I was financially stable. She laughed bitterly. I'm such an idiot. You're not an idiot. He's a professional liar. We compared notes. Found that Eric had been rotating weekends. One with me, one with her. The conferences were sometimes real, but he'd extend them to spend extra days with her. The late nights at the office were often nights at her apartment. He'd built an entire infrastructure of lies. Did he ever buy you jewelry? I asked. A bracelet for my birthday in November. Why? I pulled up the credit card statement. Same day he'd bought my anniversary gift, a necklace. He'd charged Lauren's bracelet. He batch shopped for us. Jesus Christ, she whispered. The divorce was brutal but swift. My lawyer was merciless. Eric had violated our prenup by committing adultery. The secret credit card counted as financial infidelity. He'd hidden debt and expenses. The house was mine. Our joint savings were split, but I got a larger share as compensation. Eric tried to fight it at first, then gave up when my lawyer threatened to depose Lauren and subpoena his work records showing the personal use of company resources for his affair. His company found out. Someone sent HR an anonymous tip about him using work travel for personal relationships. They investigated his expense reports, found irregularities. He was fired within 3 weeks. His family was devastated. His mother called me crying, apologizing, saying she'd had no idea. His sister sent me a long message about how ashamed she was, how they'd all thought Eric was better than this. The social fallout was swift. Mutual friends chose sides. Most chose mine once they learned the details. Eric's reputation in our social circle was destroyed. He became known as the guy who bought his wife and mistress the same lipstick for Christmas. It became a cautionary tale. A punchline. At least he wasn't Eric Morrison became a joke in our friend group. Lauren and I stayed in touch. Not friends exactly, but allies. She helped me pack up Eric's remaining belongings. I helped her write a Yelp review warning women about him, which we never actually posted, but the therapy of writing it helped. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my house, mine alone, watching Barkley chase squirrels in the backyard. The divorce was finalized last month. Eric moved to Des Moines for a new job, probably trying to escape his reputation. I heard through mutual friends that he tried to get back together with Lauren after I kicked him out. She blocked him on everything. Last I heard, she's dating a pediatrician who she says is so honest it's almost annoying. I'm not dating yet. I'm focusing on me. Therapy twice a week, a solo trip to Ireland I'd always wanted to take, redecorating every room Eric touched. I threw away the Tom Ford lipstick. Couldn't look at it without feeling sick. My bedroom is different now, new bedding, new paint color, new everything. No ghosts of the man who used to sleep next to me while dreaming of someone else. The lipstick stain on that shirt is still in a plastic bag in my lawyer's file. Evidence in case Eric ever tries to contest the divorce settlement. A $58 tube of lipstick that destroyed an 8-year marriage. My therapist says I'm doing well. Processing the betrayal, rebuilding my sense of self-worth, learning that his actions weren't a reflection of my value. Some people are just fundamentally dishonest, she told me. It's a character flaw, not a commentary on you. I'm starting to believe her. Last week, I went to Nordstrom, the same store where Eric bought those lipsticks. Walked past the Tom Ford counter. The salesperson approached, offered to help me find something. Actually, I said, I'm looking for something new. Something I've never worn before. Something that's just mine. She smiled, understanding in a way that made me think she'd been through something too. I have just the thing. I bought a red lipstick. Bold, confident, nothing like the berry shade Eric had chosen. I wore it to dinner with Jenna that night, and when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see Eric's wife anymore. I saw Amanda. Just Amanda. And for the first time in 6 months, that felt like enough. Because here's what I learned. When you find lipstick on your husband's collar, trust your instincts. When the shade matches your own, trust them even more. And when you find the receipt showing he bought two of everything, 2 lives, 2 versions of himself, trust that the man you married never really existed at all. The trash took itself out. It just left a stain on the way.